So I've come across this YouTube of not. Sometimes I watch the guy, not quite often, but his name is Carlos King, and he was doing this story. This was like a year ago. He was doing this story on this lady who went to her husband's funeral, and everybody was in their feelings about it because her husband had shot her in the face. And everybody was trying to figure out, like, it was judging her like, oh, she's stupid for going to her husband's funeral after he done shot her. And it's so, like, this is, let me see if I can turn this around. This is the result here. Like, let me go in. You can't even see it. There it goes. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Sorry, guys. And you can see, like, she had a hole in her face when he shot her. And she got plates in her face. Sorry. And, like, just to even hear the story of it, like, I can't even imagine, you know what I mean? Sorry. Because when I was first hearing him talk about it, Carlos King, and he was like, y'all can't judge her, y'all don't know how she loved him, y'all don't know what it was, and it's like, I'm listening to him like, fuck that, fuck no, like, it's always, you know what I'm saying, we have to give an excuse, we have to, but as I'm listening to it, I'm listening to her story, of even just that little bit of what she told, I understand why she went to the funeral, you know what I mean, but it was just like, wow. And he is not in jail because he ended up shooting himself. His anniversary just passed. The video I'm watching right now was from April 10th, 2024. And she was saying that his anniversary of his death was coming up. He ended up shooting and killing himself April 14th. He had shot her in her face March 2022. He shot and killed himself April 12th, 2022. And so, so just hearing what she was saying is mind blowing. And like, so they had got into it, but she said that they didn't always live together because when he drinks a lot and he goes into like a blackout where he don't remember. And so she said sometimes they would get into it, and I guess they used to get into it a lot, but like this particular day, they had been at like the niece house or the mama house or whoever house, and there was a few of them out there. And he had been drinking, and he had got so drunk that he was in a blackout. But he was tripping on her, and like started shooting. She was up the street. First, she had to call the police twice. First time, he busted her windows out in her car. And they was trying to say after he busted the windows out, she hit him with the car. And she never said she didn't. She never said she did. She said maybe, But then I guess she was like, it was still going on. And if you want to look her up, her name is Ebony Mixon, Mixon, Alabama. And so the dispute is still going on or whatever. Even though the police had came and gone or whatever. I don't know why she didn't leave, but whoever she was talking about later, she said, was crying after she had got shot and was like, I should have made sure that you made it home. Because she said she was up the street when she called the police again because he started shooting. So she could not get away. So she was like up the street in her vehicle, like kind of hiding or whatever, because he was in a black and drunk out, like acting stupid. And she said while she was on the phone with the police officer said, what is that? are those rounds? And she said, oh yeah, that's him. That's his stupid ass up there. He's shooting. And she said it was like da 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 da. And so, like, all of those bullets he had exacerbated. I think that's the correct word. Exacerbated. Like, the hole in her face is crazy to me. And so somebody gave him another gun, which she said was the niece. The niece passed him another gun. So she said once she heard the shooting stop, I guess she tried to drive and go so she can leave because she thought it was over with. But unbeknownst to her, she said the niece had handed him another gun. As she was driving, because she didn't know who was shooting. She knew it was him, but she was looking to make sure because she heard shots as she was coming down. And she said she turned to look. As she looked, she saw him with the gun, and pow, he shot her in the face, blew her face off. He shot her face off. The police came. He had left, ran. They got him out of there, the family. And the police came because they were on the phone still when she got shot. And so they came and they was looking for him, couldn't find him. His mom let him in the house or whatever, let him look around. They couldn't find him. He was gone. So she said that her face was on the floor mixed in with the glass. And the pictures had, the police had the pictures, was taking pictures, said, who shot you? Do you know who shot you? Because she was still fucking alert. And she said, called her husband's name and said, Alonzo Burrell or whatever. And she said they was taking pictures of her face, rushed her to the hospital, whatever, was taking pictures. She could hear them taking the pictures. Like, she said that, like, she was still awake. It's like, she got out the hospital like a month later because she ended up going to his funeral. And she said that she didn't even know she still had the feelings of missing him and loving him when she seen him. And, it fucked her up, because they had been together, I guess, for a while and she loved him, And I'm thinking to myself, like, this couldn't have been just some random, like, situation of abuse. Like, people just don't shoot you, out the blue. Like, there has to be some sort of build up to this. And it really was, because he gets drunk and he acts a fool or whatever. But I guess he was dealing with other women too. When she was like, well, I don't want to see the pictures because she said the hole in my face is crazy. And at that time it was still real swole, so you could not tell. This is like this month. This video. She did this April 10th. And so, like, just to see it, like, that she got plates in her face to even make her face whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, her whole side of her face was shot the fuck off, bro. Like, it's so crazy. And, she's in good spirits. I will say that. She is in a good energy. And she said when it first happened, the video I was watching, which was like the day after his funeral, 2 years ago. So that tell you, like, this was like a month or two later when she's making the first initial video. And she was like, she said she don't have any regrets. She said she wouldn't do anything different. And I'm sorry, I would. I absolutely, would. Like, she's going through so much, even in the right now, with all of the stuff because of it. Like I said, she's talking about how she got all these plates in her face just to make her face whole. You know what I'm saying? And she's on medicine, and like, because of the way the plates sit in her face is not draining mucus, and her nose won't drain the mucus out, and like, it's so much that she's going through. And so this is the thing, when Alonzo, the next day when he got up, he came back to his mother's house or whatever, And he was like, what is everybody doing up here? Like, what the fuck is going on? What y'all got going on up here? They was like, you shot that girl. He was like, who? They said, you shot that girl. Why would you shoot her? Whatever. And he's like, I ain't shoot no motherfucking body. They said, you shot Ebony, which is her, his wife. He said, no, the fuck I didn't. They said, yes, you did. You shot her. He didn't even know he had shot her. He didn't even know he had been shooting a gun at all, period. He could not remember because he was in a blackout from drinking. And she said that's why she kept, like, not fucking with him, because he would do shit when he got blacked out and wouldn't remember that shit. That shit is so fucking dangerous, bro. He shot her face off, bro. She said, I turned to see who actually had the gun, and when she turned, he shot her. But he ended up, she said after they told him that he shot her, they said he grabbed a whole bunch of shit and left, and nobody had seen him again. And then he shot and killed himself. And people were saying, like, how did he shoot himself? She was shot on her right side of her face, right? Her right side. So that's where he shot himself at, on the right side, and killed himself. And, like, she was like, I thought we could get through anything but this. And that's what she was saying on the first original video, like a month and a half after she had got shot. And it's just like crazy. She was reading a police report back. It was just like, and people, this is what killed me about people. God got it, God don't put no more. And it was all this God, Jesus, this, and that. And it's just like, I don't know why they do that. Always trying to tell you something. If she's a church goer, then good for her. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. It's always a motherfucking, like, Facebook attorney, YouTube attorney, some sort of YouTube and Facebook priests and pastors. Everybody was like, well, in the scripture it say, like, girl, ain't nobody asked you none of that shit. Ebony, get off of here talking about your case. Please go and get you an attorney. Like, what the fuck was she need an attorney for, about talking about public records? All of this shit was public records. And that's what had to be stated, like, in the chat. Like, it's public records. Like, let her tell her story and her testimony as she fucking wants to tell it, bro. Because she's the only one that has to live with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know as far as what happened, because she said on that particular live that that next day she was going to go press charges on everybody involved, because she said that, people gave him the guns and they knew what he had been doing. You know what I'm saying? And the shit that was going on. But the story is just, it is so crazy. This happened in Alabama. And I just can't even imagine, you know what I mean? She got a son. They had a son together. She got 3 kids, but I think they had 1 son together. She was like, I don't want to see the raw and uncut pictures, because the hole in my face, how she seen it, she said it was crazy. But the pictures of the actual after she had got shot, like, she was like, I didn't want to see it. Like, I don't know if she ever watched it or ever saw it, but, like, I can't even imagine it. But it was just so many people, like, trying to tell her about, what God said, and, like, just knock it the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? People don't never know how to just listen, you know what I mean, to be supportive. They got to pass you a judgment. And somebody even tried to make a horrible fucking joke. It's like, what? About her face, like, about her being shot. Like, that shit is crazy. People can be really fucking crazy, ugly human beings. But my heart goes out to her. If you want to check it out, is Alonzo Burrell and Ebony Mixon. This shit was wild. Then I just saw that somebody gonna say to her, in her live, said, God is gonna continue to use you. He gonna raise you up so you can be a voice for others, because we all gotta suffer through something just to serve God. so we can reign with him, we must suffer. Stop.